Hi guys, it's Triple C. As you can see immediately here, I got a new computer going on. That's a new case. Here's some new hardware. It's been 5 years since I have a proper build, and I'm pretty excited about this. So today, it's all about this build. So what I got here, AMD Ryzen 5 2600. Yes, I'm back to AMD after all this year. The last one I had was a 8320, I believe it was. It's been so long, I don't even really remember its name anymore. But it's been a while. Here's a new one, AM4 socket. And we have here some V-Color. You're probably not familiar with the brand, but it's a local brand, Taiwan. V-Color, DDR4, 3000 megahertz, 16 gigabyte, 2A's. Memory sticks, they're RGBs. Now, I have here, it's a Gigabyte, what you want to call it? I'm not used to saying this name here. So it's a B450 AORUS M motherboard for AM4 socket. I'm really not used to Gigabyte having their own gaming brand after all these years. I'd rather just call them Gigabyte something, but that's the thing that they're going for now, so that's what I'm gonna call them. But I insist to have a Gigabyte board because I always like to use the Gigabyte board a little bit more than the other brands, say ASUS or the MSIs. So this is what I got, and what I'm gonna do today, I'm going to show you about my build. All right, so let's get to it. Since it's a special occasion, I think I'm gonna start with some B-rolls. So I'll start with the computer case here. This is an Antec P6 mid-tower case with a tempered glass side window, which is kind of what I'm trying to go for. Well, I choose this one because the front is nice. I like the way the front looks. It doesn't have too much of a gaming thing going on. I always like that. I always like my case to look good. At the same time, you can put it on the side and it would just blend in as part of the furniture. That's just the way I liked it, and I think this case looks very clean, and the tempered glass looks really nice. So I choose this one, and it's not that expensive. It's affordable, and it's got front panel, USB 3s, it's got front panel, HDR audio out, everything's good. And then there's that Antec logo at the bottom that has the front panel's got a LED that sort of shine onto the surface at the bottom. That makes it look pretty cool, especially at night. And if you have the case just sort of off the table a little bit and then it sort of shines on the floor or large and stuff, that's really cool. So let's take a look at the internals of this case. As you can see, you don't see any drive bays and things like that because all the 2.5-inch drives are mounted onto the back of the case, and then all the 3.5-inch drives are down there. So I'll show you after, but that's where they are. So when you look into the side window, you don't see any hard drive placement. That makes inside of the case really clean, and then the space at the front, you can use it for many other purposes, including for water cooling and things like that. You can see down here, there's that opening for cable management. There's more openings down there. There's more openings out there to the side. There's more openings to the top. And there's actually enough space to the back, which I'm gonna show you shortly. So you can see here, this motherboard is a micro ATX, and this case will only fit micro ATX or smaller motherboards. Well, but it does have a lot of headroom for you to mount a proper CPU cooler. Here I'm using the standard AMD cooler, which I think it looks really nice. So I'm gonna leave it as that for now. Just gonna enjoy this machine for a while before I look into the whole overclocking business, which probably be sooner than I think it's going to happen. Yeah, so that's the front of the case. It's got enough room for a full-size video card. That there is the Radeon RX580. And as you can see here, you can put a much longer video card. That's no problem, but it'll probably be best to put just one. This is like every boy's bedroom when your mother tells you to go put your toys away. Yeah, they're put away. They're not tidy, but you know, everything's in the back. You don't see it. That's good enough. Well, here's the back of the case where, as you can see, you can mount two 2.5 inch drive there. Actually, you could put more 2.5 inch drives here and here to the front actually. And you can see here are the 3.5 inch drives. You can put two of them in this caddy here, and this caddy is movable. You can move it forward or backwards. It's got 4 screws on the bottom to give your power supply a little bit more room, or to make more room to the front for cable management, whatever you like. It certainly provides enough space for you to do your cable management. There's enough room for you to hide some of the more bulky cables down there at the bottom, and it won't affect cooling at all. Here's the bottom of the case. So those were the 4 screws I was talking about for the hard drive caddy, where you can loosen it up and move forward or backward. And over there, you see a mesh for the power supply to prevent the dust coming in. And the legs of the case, it's got rubber padding to prevent it from sliding around. Taking out the tempered glass window, it's very straightforward. You got those 4 thumb screws on the side. All you gotta do is unscrew them. They're giant thumb screws, looking like that. Pretty nice thumb screws. And it's got a hanger at the bottom to hold the glass in place. So you should always take off the bottom first, then go with the upper one. All you gotta do is do it in an angle, take it off. Very straightforward. Taking it up to clean it up or fiddle around with the computer parts. It's really nice design. Well, I have these styrofoams here because I put the LED lights, but otherwise this is what the inside look like. The hanger at the bottom for tempered glass, it's got 2 screws at the bottom where you can see you can actually move it forward to give the glass more room to go in. Well, not only it provides more room, or you can take it off completely, this actually allows certain levels of customization if you are to use a different kinds of side window or different sizes of tempered glass or whatever it is that you can think of. It's got this plastic cover that covers the power supply and the 3.5 inch dry bay. So it provides a very clean look, and the access of the power supply and the dry bay, it's from the other side as you saw from earlier. Overall, this is a very nice case design, very spacious, and keeping everything clean. It even comes with a 120mm fan with a white LED on it. Looks real nice. I'm very satisfied with this. Here's another interesting part of this case where the dust filter is magnetic. So you don't need to take any effort to put the filter on or to take it off to clean, because you know, it has magnet. Same thing goes with the front fan's filter as well. It's, as you can see, magnet. That makes cleaning very, very easy. So aside from the performance, it's the LEDs. The motherboards today, a lot of them supports the LED lights natively. They got those 4-pin outs, multiple of them, that you can plug your various types of LED strips that you can control it directly from the motherboard. That's something I have been missing out all these years. And it's nice to see this kind of stuff have become a norm. So as far as I can understand, motherboard manufacturers, they have developed their own brands of LED control software. Here it's what's called RGB Fusion from Gigabyte, and here are all the spots of LEDs that it can control, as well as the memory if it supports it. Luckily enough, the memory I got, it supports it. So just let me show you a few things of what it can do. For example, you can tell it to make your LED strips pulsing while have your RAM doing different things, such as here we have a color droplet. Here's the color casket. Or you can obviously do single colors. Here just red. Change the color as you wish. Here now we got green. Here now we got blue. Here now we got purple. And obviously there's a lot more you can do as well on the other strips. It's really depending on what is it that you want to do, and it allows a lot of controls to those LED lights, which is pretty cool. I have really simple LED strips, so I guess this is all I can do right now, but it also supports what's called digital LED. I'm not too sure what those things are, but yeah, there's a lot of possibilities of what you can do with the LEDs. The motherboard itself had LEDs as well. This motherboard is actually considered mid-range to, it's a budget mid-range motherboard. If it's a high-end motherboard, I have seen where on the motherboard itself, the various spots where they will have LEDs. For this one though, you only got one little strip over there in the back near the PCI Express. But that, if you have it, you can tell it to do things. As you can see there, I just told it to pause. Look at that. You don't need any of those bulky power adapters like this one here to be anywhere inside of your case anymore. Your motherboard can output those 12-volt power to supply those LED strips and control them right from there. Have everything synced out and make your case look really nice. It might be a little bit hard to see because my video card is blocking it, but over there, I guess I'll show you a picture on the screen. It's for M.2 SSDs. You can put an M.2 SSD there, and it has a heatsink as well. This motherboard provides that, and I think that's pretty nice. Aside from that, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 SATA ports for your hard drives. But according to the motherboard, if you use one of those M.2 SSDs, these two ports will not work because they uses the PCIe Express bandwidth. So it's either those or the M.2. But either way, it's got 5 or 6 connections for your hard drive, so I think that's plenty. It supports 4 DDR4 memory up to 32 megahertz in speed. Here we have 2 sticks of 8 GB DDR4 3000s, and it go up to 64 gigabytes that it will support onto this motherboard. Obviously, it supports the AM4 AMD processor, and here we have the Ryzen 5 2600 processor. Here's something that I have seen other reviews complain about, where the MOSFETs are exposed, doesn't have enough heat sinks on them. So supposedly this motherboard will have some limitations on overclocking. It does, however, requires an 8-pin CPU power. So it gives CPU and the system enough power, enough juice to run really well. Everything is nicely labeled, so yeah, this is great. The motherboard have 2 PCIe slots for crossfire support, but it doesn't support SLI, so that's something to keep in mind when you choose this motherboard. Let's take a quick look on the back IOs. Here we have the traditional PS2 connector. That would be useful for some people for sure, and it's got 2 USB ports for your keyboard and mouse. Here is a DVI port, here's a HDMI port. The motherboard supports the Vega graphics, the AMD Vega graphics. I don't know how well they perform, but I do have a RX580 installed, so I'm not going to need that. But maybe someday I'll just do a performance run just to see how good these things are. So here we have 4 USB 3.0 port and 2 USB 3.1 port. And then there we have a Gigabit network and audio ports.